When was the last time you reflected on all the things you accomplished last week, last month, last year? Never. You just push the goalpost, push the goalpost, push the goalpost, and then you wonder why you have imposter syndrome and you don't have confidence because you never took the time to recognize yourself. You never took the time to reflect on all the things you have done to get here, and or you look at those things and they're not good enough.
Welcome to the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, the show for bridal hairstylists, makeup artists, beauty pros, and yes, even brides who want the behind the veil scoop. I'm your host, Heather Dick, bridal business coach, salon owner, and ringmaster of a 50-person squad that styles hundreds of weddings every year. Around here, we go beyond the hairspray, thanks scaling your business, setting boundaries, surviving high-pressure moments, and creating client experiences that everyone raves about. So whether you're building your bridal empire or planning your big day, grab a coffee or champagne, and let's talk business, beauty, and a whole lot of bridal. Welcome back to another episode of the Expansion Code with Heather Dick. That is me, your host. Today I have the lovely Tracey Jazmin here. She is a holistic business strategist, and we've determined we are basically the same person. Welcome back,
Yeah.
Tracey. How's it going
Thank
today?
you. We are. I'm so good.
Good. I'm so happy to have you back. Tracey and I have bonded a lot through the Instagram DMs, and our last episode, we have discovered that we are very similar. And so it's really nice to meet like-minded individuals that we can share our passion together. So today we are going to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, and that's scaling your business from a home-based business to a commercial space. So are you excited?
I'm beyond excited. I've had so many clients do this, and I'm just like, I have so much to say. Can we just get into it?
So you have had a lot of clients do it, eh?
Yeah, like a lot from the clinical setting, more so than like a home. But at the end of the day, not having any staff, not having anything under their belt when it comes to other humans to take care of, there's just so many things that they haven't done before. And suddenly move into a commercial space, and it's like, oh my gosh, the learning curve is exponential.
I totally agree. I mean, I've done it myself, so it's a big eye opener. So I want to talk about the mindset aspect of it first, because I know, like, just full disclosure, like, Tracy's not like a real estate agent. You know, she doesn't have her commercial licensing or anything, so we're not going to get into the details of that. Although, if there's a real estate agent out there that wants to talk about this, hit me up, because you guys don't want to talk about this on podcast. But I want to talk about the mindset aspect of it, because in my opinion, mindset for something like this is like 60 to 70% of the intake. Like, you have to have that perseverance and the ability to power through those really, really crappy times. So, what are the biggest
Yeah.
mindset blocks that you see in entrepreneurs who want to move into a commercial space, but they haven't taken the leap yet? Like, what are some blocks that you see right off the hop?
The biggest one, I think, for every entrepreneur when we want to join or we want to do anything outside of our comfort zones, but especially this, right? There's so much more at risk. There's so much more on your shoulders. It's the identity piece. Who
Mhm.
am I to do this? Like, do I deserve this? And can I do this? And so there's a big identity piece is they don't recognize themselves as that woman yet. And so when I work with them, we're really looking at you already are this woman. You can do this. Like, look at the hard things you've done already. You've done harder shit than this. Let's be real.
Mhm.
And so when we can start to focus on the identity piece, everything else ripples below it. So your beliefs, your limiting thoughts, like all of that below it, your behaviors, your environment, all of that starts to shift when your identity shifts. And so if you are a human mom, you would have experienced this, right? When you have a kid, your identity shifts. And so everything underneath that has to shift. And so that's the beautiful piece that I love to work on with my clients is I just want to start top level. I don't want to try and change these little tiny things, these little habits, because they don't stick if your identity isn't congruent, right? It's like
What
the
would
new year, new me,
Yeah, right.
and it doesn't stick.
Ever. What are
Yeah.
the little things that you're talking about that people try to change? Like, are you talking about like little daily
Like
habits? Like, I'm going to
habitual
start.
things. Like, yeah, I'm going to journal.
Right.
Dear God, I love me a good journaling moment, but
Sure.
it's not going to be the thing. It's not.
No.
This shift is so much bigger. It is about your whole human being, your whole identity. You're going to be seen as a business owner on a whole nother level now. Being seen in that way, terrifying for so many, right? People are going to judge me. People are going to think these things. People are going to like the thoughts that our brain creates when we're moving out of our comfort zone into the unknown and the uncertainty is wild. And so when we can have that identity of, yeah, and I know I can do this. I've done hard things before. Like, yeah, it's going to be challenging, but like, I'm here for it. I'm resilient. I'm da da da. When you have the I am statements and you truly not just like surface level intellectualize them and you genuinely know that that's who you are, moving is like fear's coming along for the ride, but moving is so much easier.
I completely agree, and I think that we, especially in the not the spiritual world, because mindset is, it's certainly spiritual, but you know what I mean. In this, in like the coaching industry, especially,
Yeah.
people do start small, which is okay. Sometimes it's teaching willpower. Sometimes it's teaching like, getting into those habits of like doing what you say you're going to if you tend to be like a really flaky
Yep.
person. Owning a business and moving from your home-based business to a commercial space is more than opening a journal on every day at 5 p.m.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
that ain't going to
way
cut it.
more than that. It's not going to cut it. And I am so glad that you said that because I fully agree. And I also give that guidance to anyone in my life or any clients that are looking to scale their business because when you have five people come to you with one problem or with five different problems on a regular basis, that journal isn't gonna do shit, girlfriend. Like,
No,
it'll help you maybe decompress at the end of the day. It's maybe gonna, allow you to, like, get your feelings out, but that isn't gonna give you the tools to handle all of the issues that are coming at you 24/7.
exactly. Exactly. It is so much bigger than that.
It is. I mean, that really is knowing that you're mentally and emotionally, ready. So how would you know when one of your clients is ready to take that step?
You're never going to be ready. You're never gonna be
Oh,
ready. You're never gonna feel ready, right? Ready is a decision that you make. It's not a feeling. And I think so many people
mhm.
like, well, when I feel ready, girlfriend, you can be waiting. Like it's gonna take you forever. But ready is
Yes.
a decision that you make and you decide about yourself. I am ready. Guess what? An I am statement is also about your identity, how you see yourself,
Mm.
how you perceive yourself. Your self perception is going to determine your success over and over and over again.
Mhm. Oh, Tracy, that was good. That was
Yeah,
very
that's it
inspiring.
though, right? Like we always think it's our habits, but our identity is running our habits. It's running our thoughts. It's running our belief system. It's higher up than everything. The only thing higher than that is your life's purpose.
Mhm. Do you find that you have a lot of clients that operate from, like, the opposite, where they think they can do more? Or is it usually just, like, from, like, a lack mentality?
Oh, no, there's definitely the high achievers. That's definitely who I work with where like, I can do all of that. That's gonna be so
Mhm.
like great. Like, yeah, there's still fear. And then that's when burnout and overwhelm comes in. And so there is the opposite side where I'm not taking the leap because I'm so nervous and so scared. And who am I to? And then there's the one who are saying, okay, yeah, let's do this. I am ready. And then their plate is so full, they have no idea. And they end up in like freeze mode where I'm so overwhelmed. I have so much on my plate. They're sick, they're run down, they're burnt out and then they're questioning, "Should I have even done this?"
Mm.
Like, "Ugh, why did I take this leap?"
You know what? Though, Tracy, as someone who has done this, you feel that even if you
Yeah,
aren't a high achiever. Like, I mean, I would consider myself a high
totally.
achiever, but with a humble heart. But I think that whether you're whatever spectrum you're on there, I think you have moments where you're like, "Pff, I should have never done this. This is the biggest mistake of my life. I'm going to go bankrupt.
Yeah,
This is not worth the stress." And then you come out of that lull and you're like, "Oh my God, this is great. We've got this really successful event or whatever." And I think that being able having the perseverance to ride that roller coaster and that wave of growing your business, scaling that like growth mindset, I think that that's really what is the most important part of starting that journey of going from home-based business to a commercial space.
yeah, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. If you don't have that and like, you're gonna get knocked down by challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge, and are you gonna get back up, right?
Mhm.
Like, you're gonna get so knocked down.
Oh, I know. And
Yeah,
the unfortunate part is you don't know when it's coming.
no,
Like I think a lot of times with scaling your business, signing a lease, something like that, you're preparing for big days, right? But but you're not preparing for the day when the landlord comes and says, "Oh, actually, you know what? You're not zoned for this." You're not prepared for these kind of these crazy things that you would have never had guessed could happen to you, that's when that happens. And I think it would be, if you have any tools or skills for people to implement into their business practice on how to handle those really stressful moments, I would love to hear them.
Yeah, one of my greatest tools, and it sounds so, again, some of the things when it comes to mindset are so small, the shifts are so tiny, but my greatest thing with all my clients is when you are in the weeds, you have such tunnel vision, right? You are just trying to focus like step by step by step by step. And so I tell all of my clients, like, zoom out. Just
Mhm.
zoom out for a minute and like look at the bigger picture here because you're so hyper focused on this one little thing. But if you zoom out for a minute, you're going to see like, okay, it's just a drop in the bucket. It's just a little tiny
Like,
speed bump on the way. It's, you know what I mean? You become more resilient when you can kind of zoom out and not get so hyper fixated on every little challenge that's happening. Um, I would say that is the absolute biggest one is like zoom the freak out. And then you really do have to remember how capable you are,
mhm.
right? You really have to, and, like, you might need to tell that to yourself over and over and over again until you fully believe that, like, "I can do this. I am capable. I am capable. I am capable." Again, like, sure, journal and, like, those tools are gonna help you, but it really comes back to bigger stuff of, like, zoom out, take a minute, take a breath, and then you can kind of rationalize, right? Where it's like, I feel like when you're in, like, challenge after challenge after challenge, you are so emotional. There's so many emotions. It's so overwhelming. But when you can zoom out, you can almost get a little bit more objective and make decisions without having those emotions. And one of my favorite tools I teach my clients, which I may have shared last time we chatted, is called diffusion. And just remembering that, like, you are the thinker of the thought, but like the thoughts aren't you. You're the one, like the feeler of the feelings, but you're not the feeling. Whereas I think sometimes we like take it on as like, I feel blank. I'm thinking this, where if we can sort of like separate ourselves from our thoughts and understand that our brain is presenting these things, right? Because of the experiences that we're having, that does make sense, right? And so then we're allowed to get a little bit, or allowed, we're able to get a little bit more objective when we have really big feelings and really big emotions and everything feels really overwhelming. And so I teach my clients to do this by noticing their feelings and noticing their thoughts. And so anyone can do this in any scenario across your entire life, but really helpful in big stressful moments with lots of emotions. And you just preface every thought out loud with, I notice I'm having the thought that blank. Hmm. And it allows you to just shift from like, I'm like, the thought is like attached to me. I'm like, it's like stuck to me. It's part of me. As like the thought's out here. I see it outside of myself. I'm having this thought that. And when you can look at it, that's allowing you to automatically get curious. And that pause is long enough for you to start to think and like, okay, you're not going to automatically react and have that like reactive moment of like, everything is hard. Everything is stressful. This all sucks. Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. Da, 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 da. I notice I'm having the thought that XYZ is happening. It can be like, obviously, there's so many things. I notice I'm
Sure.
having the thought that this is going to fail. I'm not going to be able to do this. I notice I'm having the thought that who am I to do this in my business? And when you can look at that, well, is that really true? Right? Like 90,000 thoughts a day. Most of them are lies from your brain in order to keep you safe. That's its whole job. That's your brain. That's all your brain's trying to do is just like keep this girl safe and in her comfort zone. Right? That's what it's trying to do the whole time. So every time you step outside of it, it's like, what are we doing out here? This is terrifying.
Mhm.
Um, so when you can really start doing that, it's helpful.
I talk a lot about awareness, in the first season of this podcast, and it's exactly like I think there's multiple different ways that we can put it, but that's exactly what it is having those how did I feel when I booked myself back to back to back? Did it light me up or did it drain me? Maybe I should do something a little bit different next time. I feel and I used to be really bad at this. I am overwhelmed. I am angry. I am these things, and I'm not these things. And the more I keep saying it, the more I become it. So
Yes.
having exactly like what you said, that noticing, okay, wow, slightly overwhelmed right now. Like that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, feeling a little hot. Um, it's, it not just from my sunburn, but,
Yeah.
feeling a little hot, and then how can I okay, I'm just gonna recognize this, and, I feel like you practice yoga, but, so if anyone out there practices yoga, they talk about that all the time when you're laying in shavasana. It's like, just recognize this thought and then just let it kind of float past you, It's here, but it's not, claiming your whole feeling and your whole being.
Yeah.
And then I also have one thing else to say about but when you were talking about, zooming out,
Mhm.
when I talk about, with clients that are looking to scale their business, I've had this analogy and it was so valuable for me, especially when we were doing commercial build outs, is you would never look at a house and count how many nails you built need in order to build that house. You would never look and see how many 2x4s. I mean, the contractor would, but
Yeah.
you don't need to know these things. You just need to know what is your next step ahead of you. Is something that I could do to push me forward? And we get so stuck in the forest that we can't see the trees. And it's detrimental to our progress. That is what burnout happens. That's when we get stuck and we're just like, I'm not moving off this couch. I'm not doing anything for the rest of the day, for the rest of the month. And we freeze.
Yeah. Yeah. Abso-freaking-lutely. 110%. Perspective and perception, um, are the 2 tools.
Yeah,
How you see
totally.
yourself and how you see what is in front of you.
Mhm, mhm. What's actually happening versus what you feel is
Exactly.
happening. Mhm.
Exactly. And,
Also
like, I was gonna say feelings are valid, absolutely. And we have to remember that I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole, but a lot of our feelings are taught, right?
mm,
Yeah, we learn and are taught, like, when you fall, you're probably going to be sad, like little things like that, right? So a lot of it too is like, shouldn't I be feeling overwhelmed? Shouldn't I be feeling a certain way considering I'm doing this, right? So I think there's a lot there as well, where sometimes, our feelings, it's like, I don't actually feel that way, or I feel this way. Is this right? Should I be feeling this way? Like, we're almost looking to, like, am I feeling correct? Is my feeling
mhm.
right? So I think that's also a whole nother story for a whole nother day to talk about as well. But that's a piece of it that I see with my clients too.
I mean, we can go into it a little bit though, because I think that it's exactly what, especially if someone should be feeling overwhelmed in the build out stage or should be feeling overwhelmed looking for a commercial space and they're not, they probably get to almost into like a panic mode where they're like, oh, I don't feel overwhelmed. Am I doing something wrong? Is this not the right thing?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fascinating.
It is fascinating. If you really look at it from a young, young age, like the reactions that a parent has when a kid falls, we're waiting for them to cry. And they're like, they almost learn that from us.
Mhm.
It's just absolutely incredible what a brain learns. And so I think when with entrepreneurship, a lot of us have been taught it's going to be overwhelming. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna challenge you. I mean, yes, it's gonna challenge you. I think that one is a fact. But the feelings pieces of it, right? And for some people, it's not that challenging. I was just saying to my business coach the other day, like a lot of things that challenge people in business don't feel hard for me. And she was like, and that's
Mm.
okay. It's okay that that's not challenging for you. Like you're not wrong for not feeling the way that everybody else does.
What doesn't challenge you? I'm curious.
Things like finances, accounting, like, I love that stuff. It's my favorite. That doesn't bother me. Marketing, understanding marketing psychology. I love understanding people. It is my number one favorite thing on this planet. Probably why I am a coach. But psychology,
Mhm.
or sorry, marketing is just psychology. It is so easy to
Right. It's
understand when you
100%.
understand people, right? When you understand people, you
Mhm.
understand marketing. And so that stuff hasn't really felt hard for me in business. Whereas for others, it's felt like this is really hard. This is really big. This is really overwhelming. And so I think just letting it be normal that sometimes you don't feel the same way as everybody else in entrepreneurship. And that's also okay.
Mm. I mean, your whole business is working with people, so that makes a lot of sense. I think that if someone is like,
Yeah.
if someone was to say to you, I need you to build ceramic mugs, and you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that. That's hard. So it's all perspective too. Your business is
Yeah.
people, your business is marketing. You have that background. But I do think that that is something to chew on because I think that we always I look at other business owners, I'm like, "Whew, there's no way I could do that." And then they look at me and they're like, "I'd never do that." So it's all just it's all what our passion is and where our strengths and weaknesses lie, and I think that we need to harness those things and then run with it. What would you do for someone that is looking to start let's say someone's looking to build take their home-based business to a commercial space within a year. Are there things that you would start right at the top, or do you have, like, milestones that you would do? What is something that looks like from a strategy step?
Strategy step, I mean, marketing, I would start marketing yesterday. The day before you even think you wanna start doing it, start marketing. And I would start telling people and start building
Mhm.
up the hype. Like, we love, 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 love following along things like an HGTV show. That's what I tell all of my clients. Just think of
Totally.
your business like an HGTV show. We all wanna be kept in the loop. We all wanna know what's happening. We all wanna see behind the scenes. And so I think that's a really important piece of it is the marketing because a lot of my clients at least have feared that clients wouldn't follow, they won't come to the new location. I don't know, our brains come up with crazy stuff. And so that's been a really big fear of moving from a lot of them as well. They are like in a clinical setting. So they do have clients, but sometimes they might stick at that place. They might go somewhere else. What if your location from your home to the commercial is far? Does that weed out people? Are they going to drive across the city? Like, you know what I mean? Depending on where you end up moving. So I think a big piece of it, number one, is you've got to start marketing all of the things, but then you've got to have the identity and the confidence behind it first. You've got to have the excitement.
Mhm.
You've got to have that energy behind those things. And then, yeah, start telling your clients, start telling your people. I mean, a year out, probably a little too far to start telling them what's happening. But sneak
Yeah.
things. It's so fun. Even when you're on someone's email list, when you get the first insights and you like, oh my God, something's happening. Oh my gosh, this is coming. Give them, a welcome discount. Start thinking about your launch party. Start thinking about the big event you want to host. Are you doing a soft launch and then a hard launch after that? There's so many things. And then, depending if you're having staff or not, getting your SOPs in order, getting everything in the back end in order, all of your processes, all of your inventory, all of that kind of stuff. Cause I think that is another biggest fear for a lot of my clients is like, I don't have any of that stuff in place because I've never had to have that stuff in place. But usually, if you're moving to a commercial location, you're at least bringing on one other person. And so it's like that stuff's all just in my head. And I'm like, now we got to get it out of your head and we got to get it into a proper format for everybody else to learn and know. And in a way, too, that's easy. I'm like, I'm not about having a binder of things. I'm like, let's make it digital. Let's make it
Yeah.
easy for everyone to access when you're not there. And I always think
Mhm.
with my clients, we really want to put them in the position of like the CEO, the visionary, right? Because they've been an employee in their business essentially for a lot of it.
Right.
And they might kind of be moving and shifting to not being, behind the chair or right. They might not be in that scenario as much anymore if they're bringing on a staff member. And so really helping them shift into, making those $1 million decisions and being a CEO. It's like, what's going to save you time? What's going to make you have less decisions to make? Less times for your clients or your staff reaching out to you with questions. Anything you can do to mitigate all of that decision fatigue, do it. Do it now. Start
Mhm.
building out all of that stuff now. Yeah.
Mhm. Quick pause because I have to brag on my first business baby, Blush Artistry. If you know me, you know that blush isn't just work, it is love. And we are talking hair, makeup, skin treatments, private personal training, the full beauty experience inside and out that makes you feel like the main character, whether it's your wedding day, a birthday, or just because you love taking care of yourself. My team, they are absolute pros. They've got the talent, the heart, and the hype to make you feel amazing. That's why Blush is the go-to beauty squad in Western Canada. Can I get an amen? So if you're ready for a little glow up moment, head to blush-artistry.ca or catch us on Instagram at blushartistrymua. All right, let's get back to the show. Again, I speak from personal experience. This episode is very dear to my heart. You have, I was scared to spend money at the beginning, and I was trying to, hoard my money and keep it all in my bank account, which was a blessing and a curse because then I was able to pay cash for a lot of things. But then I was also burnt out, and then I was doing everything myself. I was cleaning a 4,700 square foot studio myself every week. I was doing the front end stuff. I was doing all the book, all of those things. I was stocking shelves. And, in hindsight now, and even when I coach other beauty professionals looking to build their team, that's the first thing that you should be hiring out is have you ever read the book, A Lazy CEO?
No, I have not read that one.
Okay. He talks about if you can hire someone to do something 80% as good as you, then you need to hire that out. 80%, even 70%. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to stock the toilet paper. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to dust the shelves.
Absolutely not.
Why am I doing this? But I think that, and I'm sure, Tracy, that you've seen this with your clients, people get scared to spend money. So, how do you coach them to get out of that lack mentality and that like hoard mentality? How do you coach them to be to open up their pockets and wallets and hire people.
Again, it comes back to knowing that you are smart. You're going to make smart
Mm,
decisions. You're going to do like I think the greatest fear is like, is this the right decision? Should I be doing this? Is this actually going to save me time? So I have a lot of perfectionists in my client base and a lot of women who are just scared. Am I going to make the right decision? Am I sure that this is exactly what I should be doing to get me where I want to go? Just map it out in logic, right? How much time is it going to save you to not do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, freaking G? Okay, let's take all of that off your plate. How does that feel? And a lot of times it actually comes back to feeling, just feeling and time, feeling and time. The money was never a thing. They just wanted to make sure that they were spending it wisely. They were doing it like in a really smart way that made sense, that was going to strategically give them back actual time, right? Like when I was a wedding photographer hiring out an editor, it was so hard for a lot of people to do that because, well, I just go back and edit the photos after they do it anyways. And I'm like,
right.
that's not the point. We're missing the whole point here. So I
Yeah.
think that's really important, is to look at it strategically. Imagine all that stuff was off your plate and you just never did it ever again. And you had someone that you could trust. I think that's another piece too in it is trusting that person to do it, that you're paying money. Like, what if I pay them and they don't do it well or good enough or the way that I need? So I think the letting go of control is a really big part of it as well. We do want to control everything, but it's because we're so scared.
Yeah. We're operating from a place of like not insecurity, but we're holding on to so much security that it's holding us back. And I talked
Exactly.
about this. Yeah, I had a I can't remember when, but I said, entrepreneurs love to brag about how much of a control freak they are. And it drives me mental because it's not clout. This isn't you're actually your own worst enemy, my friend, because you don't
Hmm.
want to control everything. How
No,
exhausting is that? No, you don't wanna
no.
do that. You don't that is not the goal, And you look at, like, these multi-billionaires sitting on a yacht, they're not control freaking their, Fortune 500 companies. They've got a team, and that's how they're making money, and that's how they have the freedom to do what they want, and you are exactly right about the money. What did you say?
Times and feelings.
Times and feelings. Yes, because it's
Yeah.
not money is a currency, but that's not always the goal. It's having the freedom and the security to know that you're making the right choice. And
Yeah.
also
I think
hire
it's,
slow.
yeah. And money is a tool, not the goal.
Mhm, mhm.
It's a tool to help you expand and amplify and grow. But I think a lot of us think that it's the goal. Make a lot of money. That's the goal. Make a lot of money. It's not. Make the money so that you can X, Y, Z, whatever it is, right? Like nobody starts the business to be an employee.
Mhm.
If that's the case, just go get a 9 to 5.
100%. You'd work
There's
less,
like there's no
honestly.
point. Literally.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah.
have way less stress.
You'd have way less stress, and I think it's important that we put ourselves in positions that make us confident, and I'm interested to hear because I know we learn by experience. It's the same thing as a kid, right? They fall down and they know that they don't break their arm or they we try new things and we didn't fail, we didn't make a ass out of ourselves. So, as a business owner, do you have something that people can implement or put themselves in positions where they're building confidence so they know when these crappy things are coming down on their shoulders that they can make it out alive? Or is it
The
just
greatest
experience?
the greatest tool is reflection. When was the last time you reflected on all the things you accomplished last week, last month, last year? Never. You just push the goalpost, push the goalpost, push the goalpost, and then you wonder why you have imposter syndrome and you don't have confidence because you never took the time to recognize yourself. You never took the time to reflect on all the things you have done to get here. And or you look at those things and they're not good enough. There's so much that we have all done to build up our inner confidence already. Yeah, as we grow and do things, obviously, yes. But when you actually take again and have that self awareness, that conscious self awareness, like I just sent 40 emails to people I don't know. Like, that's a big deal. But we don't see it as a big deal. Oh, that's like nothing, no big deal. Yeah, whatever. I'm sorry, what? That is a huge deal.
Yeah.
But we don't let it be, right? Like, well, that's not the goal. I didn't hit the goal yet.
Are you a big goal setter? Like money like a number goal setter?
Yes and no. Sometimes it depends. If I get too fixated on a goal, like if it's too close to where I'm at, I get hyper fixated on it. So I actually set goals that are so far fetched that my brain can't really comprehend what it would be like to even have that,
Mm.
because then I don't get fixated on it. But if I'm like, I'm gonna increase my income this year by 50K or something, that's too small of an increment that I get hyper fixated on, like, how am I gonna do that? And what's that gonna look like? And I get so detail oriented that again, I have blinders on. I'm like, I need to zoom out. And I'm also missing the whole fucking point of being fulfilled, being excited. What would I love to do? I don't I don't do well with, like, smaller increments, but I do well with, like, what would it look like to make $2,000,000? And I'm like, "Oh, that's fun. That's exciting to think about." I feel much more inspired in that direction than, like, these really tiny increments. Like, I wanna have make 2 more K a month or something. I'm like, not the vibe.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And it is they always say if you're gonna set I'm not a big goal setter, but they do say if you're gonna set a goal, make it outlandish.
Oh, yeah.
Something like $2,000,000 a year, I mean, that's crazy. But then all of
Mhm.
a sudden, 1 year, you'll be like, "Oh my god, I hit 2,000,000." What? You
Exactly.
know? Yeah, whereas
Exactly.
$2,000 a month, that's exactly it. You're like nickel and diming yourself. You're like, "Okay, well, if I save $100 here, then I've got 1,900," and then you're like breaking it down in these little things. I remember what I was gonna say. Um, you talk about having a like, almost like a formula when you're hiring a team about how you would feel after all of these things are off your plate. And I think that so many of us do not educate ourselves enough going into certain situations. And that is something that having that formula, taking A to Z off of your plate, I think that that is such a great tool, Tracy, because we can use that and say, oh my God. So Tracy's going to cost me $5,000 to pay her every month. But now I can go and have these meetings during the day, and I can go to these big marketing events and networking events. I can even go to Las Vegas and go to this whatever. I mean, the
Yeah.
sky is the limit. But now, when you have it on paper, you're educating yourself to move forward. And I think that too many of us just fly by the seat of our pants and just hope and pray that they're going to pay the bills. And that is not the way to success.
No, I tell all my clients, we don't hope in business. I'm sorry, but we don't. We dream, but we do not fucking hope. Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
We know, we
Hmm.
trust, we do, we act, we believe. Like, we don't hope. Hope is like you're just out here being like, I just, I just imagine like sitting on a raft in the middle of the ocean, being like, well, hope I find land. Like, what? No, no, that's terrifying. It's like you can't move anywhere with hope. But with like, you know what? No, I'm going to do that. I know that this is possible. I believe that this could happen for me. Like, there's so much more drive behind that than this, like, just gonna sit here and hope like $1,000 falls from the sky.
Hmm.
Hope it all works out. No, 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 no. You're the one in control here,
Yeah,
right? Like, I think there's that other balance too, where we just like put it out to the universe. And I'm like, yeah, you also have to take action. You also have to do your part in all of that. And I think you even coming back to like the hiring and the roles, like the goal here is like offboard yourself for most companies, for most businesses,
totally.
right? So, like, think about that ahead of time, right? Like, of course, hiring and all of that's going to shift and change as you grow, but that's the big goal at the end is not to keep
Mhm.
yourself in the business. And I ask my clients all the time, like, what does Heather not need to do? Like, what are only the things that, like, if you didn't do it, like, the business could not succeed? And a lot of time, it's not very much. It's really not very much, which is fun to see.
Yeah, because
I
then the
think that
person's
also
like,
gives, yeah,
yeah,
clients like are like,
clarity.
oh my God, like, what the,
The hope thing also, I love that you said that because that's like when someone opens their commercial space and they haven't done the marketing, they haven't done the backup, they're just praying people are going to walk into their new coffee shop. They're praying that people are going to see the sign on the road. And that's not how you have a successful business. You have so much more foundation. I mean, your commercial space is just four walls or however many walls you have to
yeah.
house your business. It's a place that you can sell your service, sell your whatever, your items. Um, that's what that commercial space does. You or your marketing team plan, you drum up business, you get referrals, you create relationships, you do all of these things in order to guarantee that you will succeed. So then you don't have those sleepless nights where you're like, I don't know if I can make the lease. I'm 6 months in. I'm drowning. That sucks. That's a really crappy place to be.
Absolutely. And I think this goes back to a lot of people don't believe in themselves and how much they do have the ability to create the reality that they want. I think that's another big piece of this too, right? Like you
Mhm.
don't understand how much control you have in creating the life and the business that you want. It's
Yeah.
like it's all up to you.
I feel like you're kinda like Tony Robbins.
I will fucking take that compliment.
I'm like, I don't know, if people are not watching this episode, you should at least try to see some on the YouTube because I'm just, like, smiling ear to ear, nodding my head. I'm like, "Mhm, girl, yeah." Because it's true, I feel the exact same way as you. I feel like, we you can manifest and you can do all of these things, and that's great. You have to have a dream. It starts with the thinking thing. It starts with that stuff in your brain, right?
Yeah,
It has to start there. But you have to pound the pavement. You have to call people. You have to text people. You have to put yourself out of that comfort zone. You have to grow. And then you come out the other end of it and you're like, "Oh my god, I made it. What else can I do?" And that's
exactly.
when the amazing things happen.
Mhm. I totally agree. But again, like this hope piece, I'm like, we don't like we're not hoping that things work out. We're deciding that
Mhm.
things are going to work out for me. Like that energy, one, like again, you're just sitting on the sidelines, little wallflower. But
Yeah.
decision, right? Like one of my favorite quotes of all time. And I say this to my clients over and over. It's an Oprah quote and it says, make a decision and watch your life change. So I think a lot of us think that we've decided that we're going to do something, but then we don't follow it up with action. A decision without action isn't a decision. It's just thinking and planning and dreaming and hoping.
Yeah. Which is
And
okay,
so,
but you need to step
yeah,
forward.
exactly. You're going to, spin your wheels there for a while.
Mm. Okay, Tracy,
Mhm.
this was incredible.
Mm,
This is so good. It was inspiring. I have a rapid fire round that I created for you. It's
okay.
fun. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Coffee or matcha?
Ew, not matcha. Coffee for sure, but that
Ew.
really hurts my
I
stomach. So we're
know.
we're going down the chai road actually.
Okay,
Third
chai.
option.
Oh, chai's good. Chai,
Yeah,
chai, chai tastes like potpourri to me. Okay.
I love it.
What was the first big business leap you ever made?
Oh, I think pivoting my entire business and leaving was behind like 80% of my income. When I went from wedding photography into brand photography, wedding photography was safe. I loved love. It was easy. But when I really wanted to pivot things, I had to leave behind every single client and none of these clients transferred. Like most brides were
Yeah,
not brand photography clients. I had to leave behind literally everything. I lie actually up too, moving my business across the country as well. That was terrifying. I left
that's
behind
scary.
again an entire business, had to restart in a province in Alberta where I knew nobody, not a soul.
But you did it and you
So those
reflected
2.
and you were like, wow, I'm a badass.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Do you have one book that changed how you see business?
Ooh, yeah. Well, life and business, but, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, hands down,
Ooh,
changed everything for me. It's all about, like, it's like more of a personal book, but it really helped me take business not so damn seriously. That
okay.
book
I've
for
never
sure.
even heard of that book. What's your current mantra?
If I were millionaire me, what would I do? In this scenario, in this situation, today, whatever I'm going through in this challenging moment when I feel like, "Oh, I don't really wanna do blank," or I'm, like, feeling resistance in some way, what would $1,000,000 me do? Well, she'd get off her ass and do the damn thing, or maybe she'd like, you know what? She'd let herself just sleep in, right? And so that
Mm.
question's been my guiding light.
Oh, I love that. Okay, this was awesome. I want that mantra. I'm stealing your mantra.
I take it.
Um, Tracy, do you have anything going on right now?
I'm launching a mastermind right now, so that'll be coming out. But
Awesome.
in the fall, if you're looking forward to 2026, the Evolving Entrepreneur kicks off in March. So that's something to look forward to. And
Awesome.
then I'm sure I'm going to be doing a mastermind again. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But we've got a retreat involved in it. It's going to be good.
Awesome. I love it. And I also love that you know what's going on in 2026. Good for you. That's a good
Heck
businesswoman.
yes.
Where can my listeners find you?
Come find me on Instagram and come be a friend. I always say to my clients, like, or anyone for that matter, I'm like, if you see me in public, you better come say hi. I am that
Yeah.
business owner. Like, you better reach out. And That's just my favorite part about entrepreneurship is connecting. So come connect, come, don't be a stranger. Don't just lurk in the background and follow me and then never reach out and say hi.
Love it. I'm the same. Please come say to hi to me in Costco when I'm in my sweats and looking like a
Yes,
grubby because I love it, and I wanna discuss that you think my latest reel is funny or how can we relate? Let's be friends. This was lovely. This was a pleasure as always. Your new nickname is Tony Robbins,
perfect.
and, we're gonna go change the world.
Let's do it. I love it. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, talk to you soon. Thank you so much for tuning into the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, your VIP access to a booked out, balanced, and thriving bridal business. If you loved today's episode, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow beauty pro. For more tips and behind the scenes magic, hang out with me on Instagram at IamHeatherDick or visit theexpansioncode.ca. Until next time, keep slaying those styles, leading with confidence, and remember, every detail counts, and so do you. Another little disclaimer, while I love sharing advice and business wisdom, I am not your lawyer, I'm not your accountant, and I'm not your fairy godmother. If you do want to be best friends, though, you can hit me up. Everything on this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only, so no lawsuits, okay?